Another thing I wanted to touch on with going through a muscle tear injury is activities you can do. Um, so after a week, uh, I couldn't do anything for a week. But after that first week, I was like, okay, I'm moving around decent. I can get in the pool and swim. So I went and joined a gym with a pool. Um, if you've never learned how to swim and breathe properly, if that gym you join has swim lessons, I'd recommend getting 5, 10 of those. One, it'll help you keep yourself doing something, obligated to do that training because you'll have a coach there to get you through it. And then two, it makes swimming a lot more enjoyable when you learn how to do the strokes and breathe, do the strokes, breathe. So that's one thing you can do. Uh, what else? Um, you're going to want to start getting massages regularly if you don't. I have massage therapists already, so uh, it takes about 2 weeks that muscle is going to be super fresh and torn, and the massage therapist isn't really going to want to get in there. So after 2, 3 weeks, the muscle should be on its way to healing, and you can start scheduling massages. You can also get one of these guys, and basically you want to keep that scar tissue from forming because that'll allow the tear to reopen. And so you want to just sort of smooth things out and get fresh blood going, and help that injury repair. If you just leave it stagnant, then it's not gonna fix itself as well as it could. So you got to really get that blood flowing through there. So these things are great. It's like, just look up like massage roller ball on eBay or something. They're like $3. Good. The other thing I got, this TENS massager, TENS. I got this on Amazon for like 20 bucks. It's got little sticker things you put on here, and it makes the muscle pull and put in and pulse. So the physical therapist said this probably isn't doing much, that these are more for pain. But I felt like it'd be good to just have a muscle twitching and activating, and I figure that will at least bring blood to the different areas of the muscle. So other thing you can do when you're sidelined, if you're a fighter or a runner or whatever, I'm sure you have books on your sport laying around that you've been meaning to read. So I've got one on mindset and on positive coaching to sort of help my coaching abilities too. Other things you can do is imagery training. So I identified a couple things in my game that I want to improve. So one is like starting fights quickly. So what you can do there is I identified some fighters via YouTube that I know of that start fights quickly. So for me, like Robin van Roosmalen is a very big pressure fighter. So I marked a few of his videos on YouTube, and then I watch them. I watch him starting those fights quickly. He starts each round quickly, and I put that visual in my head, and then I put myself in that visual of me starting each round quickly, scoring. And the brain doesn't know the difference between actually being there, sparring, throwing a punch or whatever, and starting quickly, or just thinking about doing it. So you can potentially get the same very similar training effect whether you're just imagining training or actually there doing it. So that's another good thing to do is imagery training. Also, if you were sidelined for fighting purposes, I can go to my gym, and there's a few guys there that are exceptionally good at certain things, and so I can go sit on the sideline and watch the good guys and see what makes them good. So I watched sparring over the weekend, and I watched a couple of our good guys, and I was like, what does this guy do well? And so I identified it, I wrote it down, and I can see him doing it in my mind, and then I can also put myself there doing those same things. And that is an aspect of training that you don't usually get if you're there. So you sort of remove yourself from it, and you can still learn and benefit that way. More along the treatment side of things. If you're a Muay Thai fighter, you probably have a few of these laying around, the ankle protectors. They also make a good, you want to get compression on that calf. They say you need to set it back to where it needs to be, otherwise it kind of heals like a flat tire. So you don't want compression all the time, but you know, some of the time you do. And so the Muay Thai ankle protectors can also work as a good calf sleeve. Boom. And there, keeping the calf where it needs to be and healing properly and not putting too much strain whenever I'm stepping around. So that's a good little tip for you. All right. One more thing I wanted to talk about is you can improve your hand-eye coordination without putting too much strain on your lower body. So for me, I put a double end ball up in my house. So if you never use these, potentially you dedicate yourself to doing 10, 15 rounds a night on this. When you finally are able to get back in the gym, your hands are going to be a lot more pinpoint, and you know, it's just one way to improve. So if you've never done this before, a good way to learn is to go 1, 2 with one hand, and then 1, 2 with the other. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Once you sort of get the rhythm, you can start focusing more on things. So I can go 1, 2, 3, and I can go 1, 2, 3. Or I can dedicate a whole round to just jabs. Front hand, pop, 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 pop. Try to resist the urge to leave your hands out away from your face. Try to always sew it up and have them coming from your face to the target. It's going to keep your skills sharp when you get back in the gym. If you're practicing out here all loose, you're going to have a lot of holes open up when you're back in the gym. So pop, 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 pop. So for me, I would dedicate, like, let's do 1 round front hand only, 1 round backhand only, working all different angles. And then 1 round where I work double uppercuts, 1 round where I work hook, hook, you know, getting that idea. And it's going to train your eye to be able to hit that target. Also went on eBay, or you can make one of these guys where you, like, you've probably seen Vasyl Lomachenko using the tennis ball on the hat or whatever. Not very good at this, but it's just another way to improve your hand-eye coordination without putting any strain on that calf muscle.